A Show,
where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Hello, all you lads and lasses. Welcome to the pub. We stay open till 4:30 tonight on Irish night. Welcome, welcome to the A Show. Hello, hello. Where we are live once again on every stream except for... That's right.
I see that. Yep, I'm switching over.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Eva. So welcome, everybody is Irish today, including us. So Eva, you look adorable. I love the hat.
You look great. Love yours.
I was wrestling with mine. I think I shoved it in my closet and it's got dents and it resents me and has a lot of hostility towards me.
I just flattened it.
Mine's all like whatever. Mine's like whatever.
I think it looks great. I like the color.
Thanks.
Yours got some sparkle. Is yours blingy in the front?
Well, yeah, I've got some bling.
They're not looking at your hat.
I know. Well, yeah, I can't even see my boobs here. It's like a lopsided thing going on here. I'm trying to adjust my shamrocks. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. What we're looking at anyway.
Yeah, my shamrocks keep going down my clavage.
Yeah. Well, is that true?
Is
that true, everybody? Is that it? Is that where the shamrocks are?
Let's see. Who have we got in here? Who are our leprechauns tonight? We have Fabian. Hi. We have Michael. How many leprechauns? Alex. Who else am I seeing? Here. I see Winona. Hello. Who else is? People are filtering in slowly. There's Allie. Hi. So thank you for coming in, you guys. We are very, very excited to have Jay Kramer returning here. We've had him on before. He is a very fascinating guest, and we're stoked to have him on. But before that, we're going to do a little bit of leprechaun history, of course. And we're also going to fill you in on a couple things you might need to know. Unfortunately, we do not have any gold for you. If you have any gold for us, feel free. You can throw it. You can share the show. You can log in and say hi. You can go to aprilhunter.gold and get you some gold. That's right. With a code of 1776. And you can also get some free constitutional silver with that gold.
There it is.
With our guests last Wednesday told you all about it. And if you missed that, you will get to see it this next Tuesday. Now, our next Tuesday show is not going to be live because I am traveling. If you did miss our last Wednesday show, we're going to replay it for you. It is very informative, very interesting, and Tony has a lot to say there. So it's with our Wolfpack Gold people. So
yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, yep. And I see Cole Awesome Dude. I see CS Almanac. What's up, Chip? So Lon, hi. So thanks, Lon. Thanks, you guys, for being here. So one of the things, in case you don't know, and welcome everybody. Thank you for everybody rewatching us too. We appreciate you. Mwah. Oh, we got shamrocks. Someone's throwing shamrocks. Thank you.
Oh, I love it.
I know. We got shamrocks thrown tonight. Throw those biddies and we flex them. Shamrocks.
What? Of course. Yeah.
Got 80s rock and roller. Hi, welcome. So what do you want to start with first? Oh, I wanted to give you guys a heads up. We're going to go back and forth on different things.
Yes.
Something you should know. Okay. Meta is ending Instagram's message encryption. That is coming up soon on May 8th. So this means that your messages will not be encrypted anymore. You can download those. It also means Meta and employees can read your messages. Law enforcement can subpoena them. And advertisers can benefit from everything that you say. So, and it probably also means that AI can learn from whatever you are sharing. So this is going on kind of everywhere. So just be aware of that. That is May 8th. So get everything out by May 8th. Just in case you didn't know. Don't say we didn't warn you. So heads up. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Awesome, dude. WTF. This is going on everywhere. Have you guys noticed that you're getting notifications everywhere with, terms of service agreements have changed, terms of service agreement. This is why everybody's changing their terms of service so that they can allow all these, all this access. And some of that has to do with the FISA and SAVE Act that they're going through right now too. So we may or may not touch on that in a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's yeah. What, Eva?
The messenger, yes, it is still that way for now. Just as long as you do not enable the AI on your messenger. If you do, then you already have allowed them in. So just make sure. And I understand they said with Instagram, I don't know if it's true because I haven't dug into it, that you might be able to opt out, but that was BS with the last one. I'll dig into it as well and find out. See if I can get answers.
Yeah. What happened to my leprechauns? Are they still? Oh yeah.
You have a magic hat.
My giant no, you can't see
magic
that
mushroom. What?
No, my leprechauns. There they are. You can't see them because of my microphone.
Oh, look, they're so cute.
I know.
Oh, look, Lon sent you something.
Well,
hey,
what do we get?
Thanks, Lon.
Oh,
thanks, Lon. That's very nice. Thank you, Lon.
Thank you.
I don't have those, but I will.
Thank you.
There you go. Thanks.
May the luck of the Irish be upon you, and may the sun shine upon your face and the wind upon your back.
That's how you do it in YouTube. Thanks, Lon.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
So what is okay? So I'm just going from memory, but the theory of St. Patrick driving out the snakes in Ireland. Everybody knows this one, right?
I actually learned a little bit about it today. What do you have on that?
Well, there are no snakes in Ireland,
right?
Because it's too cold. Snakes cannot survive in Ireland. So this is a metaphor. It's a theoretical saying. What do you think it means?
Well, if I heard it correctly, now I learned a lot in a short period of time for the show. So if I heard it correctly, it was about getting the pagans out of it and bringing in Christianity, and the snakes referred to the pagans.
Ding, 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 ding. You are the winner.
All right. Well, I'm glad that I listened to the right thing. Yes.
Right. And we have had boring sex ever since. So nobody dances naked around the stones anymore.
Is that true? I don't believe you. I know there must people do.
Yeah, they're bringing it back, I think.
Yeah.
So
what
other interesting facts do you have?
So I looked up a couple things. So so apparently some people say he's real, some people say he's not, St. Patrick. And some people say that was his name, and some people say that wasn't his name. So I heard that, and I was curious, like, when did it start in America? I understand that this person passed away and blah blah blah. So I'm just saying blah 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 because I don't know the whole history of that.
Started in Florida.
Yes, and
Florida.
1500.
Florida was the very first St. Patrick's party.
Yep.
Of course,
St.
Florida.
Augustine.
That's right.
Yes.
The Spanish city of St. Augustine.
I know. Go figure, right?
Yep.
So and the parades were to have the Irish dance and to celebrate the Irish in America.
Mm-hmm.
So and basically to show off in your in the green, and the clovers were to wait. The clovers were the Celtic symbol.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and shame on you, Philadelphia. Shame on you, New York.
Right.
Shame on both of you. Shame on you.
Yep.
Heavy, dense, like corned beef dense, which corned beef is American, by the way. It's not Irish. Dense population of Irish in Philadelphia and New York. And you all didn't do it. Florida had to do yet another thing right to show the world. Yet another thing. Okay.
That's right.
2020 wasn't the first time that we did it right. Okay.
Yep. 1600. You hear that?
Right.
1600.
Florida,
it was 160 years later before New York did it.
Oh. For shame.
Mm-hmm. Not the luck of the Irish.
No. See, so that's why everybody hates Florida. That's why they, Florida man, Florida woman. No, okay, we've earned these, but still, we do things right. We do them ahead of time. We are our own country. We lead the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Only if we put the wall up, right? Just kidding.
I know, right? Especially like around this time, a few weeks before this time. Did you know the original color of St. Patrick's Day, the celebration?
No, I did not. What?
It was not green.
Okay, what was it?
It was
Red?
blue.
Oh, blue.
No, it was blue. Just like Christmas. So
Really?
Christmas originally was blue, and St. Patrick's Day was blue. So,
Wow. I did not
Mhm.
hear that today.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Matter of fact, green was considered an unlucky color.
Why?
I
Wonder
don't
why.
know, but it's really interesting that they switched us to it.
Does anybody in the chat know the answer to that? Find the answer to that. Why is green an unlucky color? That's just weird.
It's funny that we
pretty.
changed
It's
our
pretty
money
color.
to that, right? Is there any other country where the money is green besides America? Because I know it's like multicolored in other countries. I'm just curious. Like in
I have a theory about the green
trying-
though. There is a question why it was turned to green. I have a theory about that.
yeah, blue is a Christmas color, and it was St. Patrick's color, chip nose. The color for virginal wedding dresses.
Oh, sorry.
What are we doing here? What was our ancestors' obsession with blue? That's a really good question. Now I heard this. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that the original color for girls was blue, and for boys it was pink. I do not know if that's actually true, but they said somewhere along the way it got switched. What?
Oh, never mind. That's like a whole nother controversy right there.
Right. It's a controversy.
I have a theory on the why it was turned green though, from blue for St. Patrick's, only because what they were talking about the clover. So the clover looks like the same symbol as the Celtic. So as they were trying to explain about the pagans to the Christian, it did kind of make sense that they used the clover as a symbol. And then it became a tradition and was added in later, they said, to flags as a symbol. So I wonder if some dude just said, hey, this looks like a Celtic thing and in green, and maybe I don't know. I just threw it out there. Maybe that.
I have a theory. I don't know. This is not an educated theory at all. This is a guess, strictly a guess, only because of history. So I'm going to guess it was changed to green. And again, wild guess. I'm just going to put this out there because of money, cost of things. Because back in the day, dyes depend on how hard it was to get dye. So certain dye colors were a lot cheaper than others. Like purple was the most expensive color. It was the most expensive dye. It was so rare. That's why pretty much only royalty wore purple. That's why all royalty, you see all the royal was a purple. So if you look at the historic areas, like say Cape May, New Jersey, how people would show off their money was to paint their houses different colors to show that they had wealth. You know, this one was blue and this was pink and this was green. So maybe they went through a period of time where blue was expensive or hard to obtain. Maybe like the corn flour, that's what they used to corn flour. Maybe they went through a thing where that crop was not doing well. So they switched over to a green dye. I don't know. A lot of things come back to availability and money. So I'm just guessing that could be a completely wrong thing. So,
well, actually, here's a good one too. I wonder, Winona says, I wonder if green was considered an unlucky color because it's associated with envy and jealousy, which often leads to downfall. And then C.S. Almanac says, quick search says green was unlucky in old Celtic times because fairies wore green. And if you wore green, you might attract them, anger them, and have them play tricks on you in response.
I love that.
Here's another one.
Well, I am a fairy, so it's all good.
Wait, isn't that a unicorn in your background, though?
Yes. That's what I ride. When I'm not riding a corgi, I ride a unicorn.
I love it. I love it. In 1798, Irish rebels wore green to represent their fight for independence from the British. Thank you, Lon.
Thank you.
Wow, learning all kinds of things today. I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
So
green is pretty opposite of the red, red, blue, and white.
Which green color's better? I like your green color better. This looks really dark.
I actually like I like yours. So
okay. Well, thank you.
And I didn't have any Kelly green for a sweater. It got cold here. So we're experiencing the weirdest weather in Florida ever. So it's been like 88 degrees all week long. And then today it's 58 as our high, and then like 40 at night. I don't know.
Did it even make it to 58?
I don't know.
I don't
So
think it did.
all of a sudden, I like this. This is wonderful. I'm in the severe minority, but I'm so happy for this right now. Right, Alex. Thank you. Why do green if it's bad luck? That's what I'm asking. If everything is a spell, like words are spellings, and television, and all of that, casting. You're casting.
Yes.
If it's all a spell and all these little things matter and all the symbolism, I don't know. Maybe they just want to cast. Maybe we're living in a big, huge simulation. They just try and put all the bad luck. Here's my far out conspiracy theory. We're living in some kind of weird simulation. There is a giant thing of two forces of good and evil, and evil is very, very strong and prevalent, and always trying to convince us in any way possible that everything we do is the right thing. So whether it's to wear bad luck, whether it's to say all these bad, like it's a constant force that right is wrong, that up is down, that good is bad is good. So as soon as they can flip everything, that's and make good look crazy, that's their thing. That's my far out conspiracy theory.
I don't think that's far out at all. But everybody's Irish today.
That's right.
And there's just something I saw today. Even though it is recognized nationally, though generally not a legal holiday today, it's celebrated by 32 million Americans claiming Irish ancestry.
It's celebrated by more than that, and
I bet it is.
Whenever I go down to, I usually go down to like Tampa or Safety Harbor or Dunedin. This right here, this is the holiday that unites everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what race you are, what gender you are. Everybody's wearing fucking green today.
Yep. And
everybody unites over alcohol. There is nothing controversial with
you couldn't even
Irish
get tables, and there was beer festivals going on all over the place, all over.
This is the one thing I think we need more. I think we need like a quarterly St. Patrick's Day, because there's nothing controversial about it. It's fun.
No. It is fun.
There's no obligations. You don't have to show up anywhere. You don't have to buy anybody anything. There's no money.
I had to show up for work.
Well, that's the problem right there. But it's the easiest, most fun holiday. All you have to do is dress up. You don't have to spend any money. There's no religion involved. There's no politics involved. You just drink and hang out with your friends.
Yes.
If you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Let's do that now.
They even do Irish ornaments. You can decorate your Christmas tree like Irish.
Drink.
I love it.
Oh, what? Your tree? Oh, yes. Everybody must see. Wait, okay, cheap plug right there. If you want to see April's tree, let's see. There, you can find her on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, patreon.com/April Hunter. And where else can they find you?
I posted pictures of my tree on Real April Hunter Instagram. My tree went from a love tree in February to a luck tree in March. So I guess it's gonna be an Easter tree soon. Thank you, Fabian. Somebody asked earlier if I was going to be at River City wrestling convention in St. Augustine. I would love to. Right now, I'm not booked on that. I am booked in Pasadena, Texas for my birthday in September for a Comic-Con there. And I'm trying to remember the Comic-Con's name, but I'm blanking out. It's an expo. But I will be there.
Is that a wrestling one or?
No, that's I believe that's just a Comic-Con. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. I love Texas. I love Texas people. I love all of Texas. I love the food. I love the culture. I love the Mexicans. I love all of it. So yeah. So and maybe Fanboy. They have invited us back. It depends. So it's the end of August this year instead of September. So maybe.
Oh, that's right. Oh wait, where else are you going to be? We got something. You got something coming up.
And I'll be at Tampa Bay Screams Mother's Day weekend, just that Friday and Saturday, and that's here in Tampa Bay. And that'll be Friday night and Saturday in May, beginning of May. So yeah, that's a fun one. That's a horror con. So go ahead. What?
No, I was gonna say, get those other plugs out there before we bring Jay on. Or do you have other? What else?
Yeah, no, I had one more thing to talk about. And one of the things I wanted to urge you guys, I won't go into it too much, but take a look. I posted something on X. You're welcome to take a look at through Save the Internet Act. It's X April Hunter. It's in regarding to the FISA and the SAVE Act being joined together, and that's what's making this is so complicated. So if you are interested in keeping up and understanding a little bit more of that, it kind of breaks everything down. So take a look at that. Again, it's X April Hunter. I just did that today, so it should be pretty easy to find if you can wade through all the happy St. Patrick's Day stuff and buy my video stuff.
And buy her videos.
Yeah. Daryl, and he's in here. Thank you, Daryl. He sent a really interesting article earlier in the week. And I thought this was fascinating because it's something that we cover. So health officials say that the flu vaccinations did not work very well this year. They had the worst effectiveness rate in over a decade. So what I thought was interesting is that the flu vaccine in 2023 made over 7.91 billion. And despite being ineffective, and people after I posted it even said it made them sick, the number of the profit is expected to double every 2 years. So if they made 7.91 billion in 2023 for a very ineffective vaccine that ended up making people sick, imagine what it is now in 2025, 2026. And another thing that I wonder about is if it's making people sick, how many people are spreading it and creating an epidemic?
Wow.
So I think that there's real potential there. I can't say for sure, obviously, because that's above my pay grade. But I do believe there is true potential that once people are carrying this vaccination, they are actually spreading it to others. So if it is actually making people sick, and they're saying it has not been effective, and it is creating it's creating a massive outbreak, then we have to question things. We have to question all of it. And we're apparently not allowed to question a lot of these things. So I'm questioning it. I don't mind being called crazy or whatever. So we should all be questioning all these. I know I'm not. So that's something. So you might want to think about all that before they start pushing the campaign on you all next year, considering, some of these side effects and ineffectiveness, and just go with good old fashioned raise your immune system by doing it the natural way. So, which is really, really simple. We talk about it all the time, taking extra vitamin D, getting in the sunlight, taking zinc, eating well, getting some exercise in every day, or, 5 days a week. It's not that difficult, So, avoiding packaged food as much as possible, which is really difficult to do. You have to kind of make it a habit. So, yeah.
There's a lot of good comments going on here. Yeah. So Kenny actually said, I've never been vaccinated for anything except for when I was a kid and didn't have a say. Of course, we didn't, right? And not even a common cold since 2011. Pure blood, motherfuckers. I will add that just because I need to say it. Yeah. And like Lon said, some are trying to influence flu stats. I love the way you put that.
Yeah, that was another thing I posted this week. Was a few doctors and scientists posted about how the science has been hijacked by money, and it's come out. So that's actually very interesting too. So if you want to read more about that, there's only so much we can say on Google-owned YouTube, but that is also, if you want to scroll down and dig deep, that's on my X April Hunter as well.
Yeah. So, it is worth getting on X, I have to say. You got to be careful what you see on there, but take it, just do your research always, as April says, do your research. And So yes, so always do research. Always, I like the comments in here. Vitamin D, go outside, stay
Yeah.
healthy. You know, always do that. Stay away from packaged foods as much as you can. Just stay healthy.
Vitamin D is a big one. It's a really big one. They're always telling you vitamin C. Honestly, I would just go to vitamin D. It is a huge, huge, huge thing.
Ah,
What?
you got
Oh,
some bit.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And hi, War Demon. You're asking about
Yes.
my batshit crazy shirt. It's too cold to wear that right now, but I found it the other day and I wore it to the gym. So I'm still wearing it. I'll dig it out
Nice.
again. I love that shirt. So,
Yeah. What else do you have to cover before Jay comes on?
I think that was it. We're just trying to keep it simple, just to remind you about what's going on with Meta.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's interesting, Winona. She said she took the flu shot and got pretty sick anyway. Never again. Yeah, I stopped taking them a while ago, and I stopped getting the flu. I don't know if it's coincidental or not. I do have autoimmune. I've got actually multiple autoimmune issues. I was born very, very sick with pneumonia. I have asthma. I've got some other stuff going on. So I always feel like I have to be extra careful. And I've become somewhat of an expert with health and nutrition and raising immune systems because of dealing with so much with myself and not wanting to, be stuck taking prescriptions nonstop and injections. So I know of which I speak of. Did we have any other St. Patrick's?
Yes, I saw. Like as in, let's see.
Do we have any other trivia before we bring Jay on?
Yeah, I actually did see something on the color switch. No, not really. Okay, so Patrick used it. Oh, the shamrock for the Holy Trinity. I don't know. See, I saw that too.
Okay.
I saw. Oh, you were talking about the corned beef, not a public holiday, changing traditions. Oh, okay. Here was one. Yes. Up until the 1960s, Irish law forbade pubs from being open on March 17th, as it was considered a solemn religious day. Obviously not in America, but so I found that interesting for overseas, something we don't, we just hear what goes on here in America. But
these people try to suck the fun out of everything, don't they? I'm sorry, that's just me about.
That's funny. Let's see. I also saw. Yes. Oh, yes. So, okay. So yes, obviously Saint Patrick. He was actually a Roman British. He was not Irish. He was converted, and after he was 16 years old, and I guess I don't know. Besides parades, cultural identity, everybody's Irish. I don't know, larger and all the parades and that's it.
Well, I have something I wanted to share. Can I play a video for you guys?
Oh, they're gonna love that.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I just wanted to show you. And thank you. I'm glad you like my hat. I fought with my hat today. I really did. I hope it lost. Bastard. Didn't want to go where I wanted it to go.
Are you playing the good thing with the elderly couple?
We can do that too. I wanted to show you first a video of something you should be aware of. Okay. And then let's talk about the elderly couple because that one was really cool. If you can, do you have it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I actually put it in Messenger, and then the other thing was all bad stuff. We can leave the bad stuff.
Well, I wanted to show you something to be aware of what's going on right now because I want everybody to keep your vibe high, okay? Because right now there's a lot of like fear mongering going on. So this is just a reminder that the news sucks. Okay, so
okay. I'll follow that when you're done with that thing I told you about.
Huh?
With the FCC, I'll follow that with that.
Okay. So hang on one second. I don't know if I can do it this way. Let's see. We'll probably just start playing right away. it's going to start doing it right away. Bastard.
Always.
Share screen. I hate that. It's doing it, right?
Video first. Understand that the greatest form of mind control is repetition. This just got posted on Twitter and it's going absolutely viral because people are remembering that, yeah, a couple corporations do own all the media. So you think you're getting this illusion of choice. Like, let me put on a different channel. Listen to this.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes.
Wow.
We've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers. We may have to deal with that in the short term. Short-term and temporary.
Temporary short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
All right.
You have to focus.
Wow.
And you want to know why repetition is the greatest form of cognitive influence? Because it strengthens neural connections, fosters the illusory truth effect, and reduces cognitive load, making familiar information feel more reliable and credible over time. Didn't you hear George Bush? By the way, that video goes on for like 3 minutes. George Bush said something to the effect of, we got to say it a whole bunch of times so it really sinks in. But at the end of the day, all of a sudden, a lot of what everyone believes is just something they heard a lot of times. That's how easily our minds, they are very powerful, but also they have a couple different weaknesses if you're not aware of. You will be manipulated. And then read this. Repetitive behaviors and messages provide a sense of stability and comfort. You're hearing something that doesn't shake you up. It's like, yeah, I've heard this before. It's normal. But I'm sure this is nothing. The news is to make sure you're informed. There's going to be many other scripts.
So if we got to repeat it a lot, right?
Repeat.
Yeah. Send April money, send April money, send April money, send April money. Cash App, April 13, Cash App, April Hunter 13, April Hunter 13, Cash App, April Hunter 13, Cash App, April Hunter 13, Cash App. Are you guys brainwashed yet? Are you brainwashed? No, I just want you to be aware of what's going on. So don't fall for it. Don't let your friends and family fall for it. Friends don't let friends fall to fear. Okay.
Man,
there
so
you
much
go.
of that. And
There
just
you
to prove that, FCC chairman is threatening to pull broadcast licenses or not renew them, in which this includes newspapers, by the way, for printing stuff they don't want printed or spoken about.
Wow. So
That
much
just
free speech, right?
Right.
Wow.
So that's all I'm going to say. Anyway.
Wow. We have a good news story. You want to wait till the end to read that one? You want to read it or tell everybody about that?
We can wait till the end. Do you want to wait till the end when we're getting done picking on him?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All
right.
Do that. So let's bring on Jay Kramer. So we have had him on before, and we are thrilled to death to have him back. He is this is his bio he has sent us. So he is mainly politically senile and a pessimist. Has been active in politics for the last 35 years. Most recently, he's been in the Republican Party State Committee for 8 years, party chairman for 4 years, mayor of our town twice, and council member for 6 years. He's run about a dozen different campaigns, including commissioner, state rep, school board, and local offices. His professional experience varies widely, and he is a techie-turned-politician, which proves this world does absolutely not make sense. He started in video game programming, moved to internet access and web hosting, and then worked bankruptcy for the DOJ. His passion turned later towards building data centers.
Woo!
We have questions. And hosting, I'm reading his thing as this was him, which allowed his extracurricular activities in politics. After returning from the tech world, he currently now owns several ice cream stores and does fundraising for film festivals.
And who loves ice cream?
We all love ice cream. We scream for ice cream. So let's bring Jay back on. We are welcoming. Yay!
Hey, ladies, how are you?
Hi.
Good. How are you?
You got the memo. Nice hat.
I like it.
I thought it looked good. I was going to go for the cowboy hat, but I thought this one kind of reminded me of some old guy, that just Had a little too much to drink.
That's
I like it.
That's the look we're all going for. I want to look like an old guy that's had too much to drink too.
But did you drink today, Jay?
Well, I had coffee today, guys. I'm up in Pennsylvania, so we're working on opening up our stores. I got to say,
cool.
I wish I was down in Florida. Actually had to use my ice scraper today. And I tell you what, I woke up and there was snow on the ground.
Ooh. Yeah, I've heard that it's quite cold everywhere else. So the faucets are on up in the mountains again. You've got to run that top. Yeah. So, well, I'm sorry for your ice.
No, we got to find some way to appreciate what we've got, and
Sure.
I really appreciate being in Florida in the wintertime, even if it does mean you got to put up with a lot of things.
Well, I think the irony of all the people being here for spring break right now, because this is literally the biggest week of the year, the March 15th week, and they're getting 40-degree weather. So
and maybe and falling iguanas, maybe.
Right. As they leave their beer cans littered all over
they're
our
probably
beaches.
enjoying it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. If they're coming from 20 degrees, they probably think.
You know what it's like? You see people in the water, and it's like, yeah, they're tourists, because Floridians would never even think about it this time of year.
Nope, not at all.
I remember coming down here when I first moved to Florida. I was on the other side the first time I moved here, and it was probably January, and I think it was 55, 60 degrees, and I ran right into the ocean, and people stood there and looked at me like I had 3 heads, and like. Where are you from? I'm like, Pennsylvania. And like, I'm like, Pennsylvania. And they're like,
shit.
They're like, what's the temperature there? I'm like, I don't know, 12. I'm like,
well, they couldn't tell you were probably very white and no tan at all. You're definitely a tourist.
I'm blinding you with my legs.
Oh yeah, it's funny. You can definitely see a tourist coming.
Oh yeah.
Well, we did unfortunately make national news yesterday. I'm sure everybody's been seeing what happened in Daytona, freaking everywhere in the world right now for spring break. Oh, April's got a look on her face like I didn't see it.
I'm in a bubble. What happened?
Sure.
Really? Oh, there was
everybody
a
know
shooting
and I
on
don't
the
know?
beach. There was a shooting on the beach in Daytona.
Really?
That there was probably thousands of people on the beach that didn't belong in a celebration and blah blah blah.
Oh,
so yeah, and then everybody running like fleas. So
I'm glad I'm in a bubble.
Yeah, so gotta love Florida to make national news for something freaking stupid. So couldn't it be like Pensacola or something? Why'd it have to be Daytona? So usually it's Pensacola or Miami or somewhere else. So they did a Miami and Daytona. So sorry, Jay, it's on your coast.
All right. Well, you know what, you guys had that topic of talking about data centers, and it's really odd. I didn't realize it was that big of an issue, but I was actually driving through a small town here in Pennsylvania, going to one of our stores, and we had a political sign up there that vote for him, no data centers. And I'm like, gosh, it's an issue up here.
It's a real big issue. Yeah, it's a real big issue.
There's a lot of people out there that I think these data centers are a really bad thing, and I can actually see why they would think that, and some of them are. I mean, I've built a lot of these things, and I tell you what, you could walk by and you'd never even know that they're there. I had one in a residential area, and nobody for a good 8 years didn't have a single clue what was going on in that building. But some of these bigger ones, they could be a real problem. I think over in Tampa, I think you guys have probably got a couple of data centers that have been going up, and people have probably been up in arms. I know in Fort Meade, there's a couple of them. I don't know if it's justified or not. I don't know if you guys have read up on the issues, but a lot of people are worried about electric bills going up, and I'm sure you guys are probably thinking electric bills.
Our bills are insane here.
Well.
So here's a question, Jay, being on the AI data centers. Now, I understand. Okay, let's take AI out of the equation. We've had to have data centers for a long time, whether people realize it or not. Like you said, they had to have existed. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the internet. So data centers have always been around, or we wouldn't have internet. But how they're doing it now with these huge expansions in order for the cooling and stuff, like you said, they've been in neighborhoods. I know that. Other people may not know that. I know they have been doing that for a long time. So what's changed? What's tell us that.
That's a really good question, because I mean, traditionally data centers were pretty much where you hosted websites, where servers just operated different services of the internet. This all changed when Bitcoin came about. All of a sudden, I mean, we were involved in the Bitcoin, and all of a sudden you had all these little boxes that would mine Bitcoins, and what they call them is GPUs, graphic processing units. And they just created a tremendous amount of heat. Well, Bitcoin used them to calculate different mathematical equations to generate cryptocurrency.
What happened?
Did you guys? Oh, I come back.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Yeah, I just make it out. But over time, these GPUs are used for AI for pattern recognition, and that's pretty much what these data centers are. They're not just little computers that they're used to serve web pages. These are, for lack of a better term, they're like little space heaters. These things are just crazy. You can't even stand behind those things without feeling the heat, and they're tremendously noisy. But that's what the AI data centers are. They're a bunch of graphics processing units that are meant for pattern recognition, and they learn. You guys had mentioned earlier about the Facebook changing their policies. That's data that gets fed into these AI data centers. I mean, everything that you do, especially on your cell phones, gets fed into these graphics processing units and looks for patterns, so that people can mine profits from your activity.
Wow.
So when you have these larger and larger data centers, they're just looking for more and more patterns, and they're looking for more and more consumer behavior that they can capitalize on.
There's a theory, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but there's a theory that people who live near data centers, like the sound is driving them crazy. And also, I think might be the cell towers as well. But their white blood cell count is elevated, as if they are not healthy, as if they're ill, or they have been smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Are you familiar with that theory?
Somewhat. I'd actually think it would be the opposite. I would think your white blood cell count would go down. I mean, it's produced by your bone marrow, and you'd be more susceptible to diseases and whatnot.
Maybe it thinks it's fighting something off, so it elevates.
Right. But I have been, a couple of our sites have had cell phone towers, and you don't get close to those things. And if you do, you'll start getting headaches, and the frequencies will cause problems with your body. As you get away from it, I don't know if the effects are that severe, but I think, if you're close enough and you get enough time exposure to it, I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't doubt it, because certain frequencies interact with the body a little bit different from others. The noise issue, I don't know about that. A lot of these computers, it's just white noise. White noise typically doesn't travel very far. I don't know of too many data centers that produce a bunch of crazy noise. It's not like you're living next to an airport. I mean, you can hear airports miles away. Data centers, I wouldn't worry about noise.
What about the water issue? I know, Florida, especially our area, has been in a drought, and they want us to conserve water till July 1st. So I think we've only had 5 inches of water all year. And with so many people moving down here, we have a severe shortage.
That's a real interesting question. I mean, that's the one thing I really had to research, because traditional data centers really don't use a lot of water. They have a closed system where they have what they call a glycol, where they take the heat, they pump it into the glycol, and then it goes up to radiators, and then it blows it out into the atmosphere. These other data centers, the bigger ones, they're using what they call an open system, which is more of an industrial type of cooling, where they actually take they pump the heat into water, and then they pump it out to cooling towers, let it drip over media, they collect it, and then they recycle it. The problem with that is that you get a lot of evaporation, and also you get mineral concentration, so you have to replace that water. And big data centers, I mean, they can go through 1 million gallons of water a day. It's absolutely crazy. But that's their choice. They're doing it from an economic choice, that they want to they use the cheaper methods of cooling rather than a closed system. And in Florida, you're right. Certain times of the year, drought conditions, it could cause problems. But you got to remember, especially in Tampa, you don't get your water from local sources. You actually get it from an aquifer that comes down from the north.
Mm-hmm.
You actually get pulled up. They get pulled up what they call from the boulder zone. When you go down, it gets pulled up, goes through reverse osmosis. A lot of the surface water, if they use surface water for data centers, it'd probably be okay, because the amount of rain that we get is incredible, especially on the east side.
Well, I mean, like where I live, we actually get brackish water. They pull it from the river and then they reverse osmosis it. I mean, like in China, they're submerging their data centers into the ocean.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So, I mean, that sounds good, right? But then again, what is it doing to the marine life? What kind of energy is it giving off? If it's making a frequency, we know that the marine life is very, very sensitive. Mm-hmm. I mean, you probably are aware of the story of these dolphins that keep showing up dead. So we've had over, as a 41 or more at this point, they keep washing up. They're dead. They're just showing up dead now. And no one knows why, or rather no one will admit that.
Interestingly enough,
they're a frequency animal.
You met my daughter. Mm-hmm. Incredible woman. I love to brag upon her. But one of the things that she did is she studied marine biology and actually did necropsies on dolphins to figure out what was going on. And a lot of the dolphins and marine life actually have contaminations from pollution. I don't know if it's frequency stuff, but the number of cancers and boils and cysts that happen inside of dolphins, it's absolutely horrifying. I mean, if you actually see what they have to go through, but they wash up on shore, and she cuts them up into little pieces and sends them to all the different universities all around the country.
Now, I did do a little digging on that today, April, in reference that I think that's related to other topics that we've been talking about that Matt the welder is going through. Honestly, I think that's the pollution issue that's going on. It's not because of our drought and our Everglades and other areas are not filtering the pollutions, and also again, our building and all these things going on in Florida.
They're spraying all the things too.
Our pollutants are not being filtered properly through, and then of course that goes. Where does that go? Aquifer water out to the coastlines. So that there's a lot of that going on. So that is a different topic that's not related to Jay.
Well, no, I mean it's a real important issue, because people got to realize that in Florida, you have water doesn't rain and then go down; it flows horizontal. I had a guy from a water district, just look me in the eye, because as I was going to say, well, we're going to solve the pollution issue, with some political things. He just looked at me and goes, you go down 12 feet and you hit clay, water flows horizontal, and you got to deal with it. And what are we doing in these big cities? We don't have permeable surfaces. We make concrete. So as soon as water hits concrete, it flows it flows out, and it flows very fast.
Yeah.
And unfiltered.
Yeah.
So all the oils and stuff that come out of your cars, all those heavy metals, boom, they go right into the water and into your waterways really fast.
All the freaking lawn spraying.
Yes. Which is why, and I said this April the other day, a lot of people that move down here, they should get a handbook. They really should make pamphlets and handbooks to give people when they move here. Little things that they don't know, like you're not supposed to blow your grass when you mow your grass. You're not supposed to blow the excess grass into the street. It's supposed to be blown back up or picked up into your lawn, because that clogs up the system down here in the waterways more than you realize, because it has nowhere to go here. So in the waterways,
that is true.
Yeah, and how we can't use fertilizer at a certain time of year.
And by the way, ladies, might I suggest, I don't have grass in my yard. We replace it all with rock. So we don't have.
And that not every county can do that. In Pasco County, you cannot.
Really?
So, yep. Because in certain areas in Florida, there's not enough difference between the top layer to the limestone. So if you put either rock and so forth, in some counties it's outlawed. You're not allowed to use.
We did rock and native plants, and it turned out pretty well. We don't have as much
Probably
lawn
looks
care
pretty.
anymore.
My dogs would be very mad at me if I did that.
Well, when I
Because
take
where
my
am I
dog for a
supposed
walk,
to
they're not
poop?
interested in
Yeah,
they're not interested in our yard. They're interested in everybody else's yard.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true, right?
You have a poop-free yard.
Yep. It was a big thing down here, though. My grandparents had rock down here. Yeah. So,
That is true.
but anyway,
Yeah.
there's so much that the cover on that. Oh my.
Yeah.
So,
So you had you had a couple other topics you were going to talk about too.
I
including
did.
property taxes.
You know, I am a political conspiracy theorist. I mean, I was just going to be. I'm just no. I'm going to be flat.
In other words, you're a truth seeker.
Well, you know, the problem is that when you see things from the inside out and you actually deal with the people on a personal basis, you realize where the influence comes from, and it's not from politicians. I can just tell you that. But one of the issues that I wanted to talk about, and I know you've got a lot of people watch your shows that's in the Florida area. We had the big thing with property tax come by that says, hey, you know, we're going to come onto the ballot. You're going to get rid of property tax. What a wonderful thing.
And this is something people are watching everywhere, all 50 states. I
yeah,
think
it's
they're
national.
aware.
Yeah.
They're
It
aware.
is.
They're like, how can Florida do this? Well, no income tax, no property tax. To me personally, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm curious.
But go on. I'm curious to see what you're.
Well, you know, first of all, the golden standard for taxes is that if you're taxed on something, it goes to a service directly that you use.
Mm-hmm.
And when that gets broken is when you get taxed for something, and then all of a sudden it gets spent on something that, you know, you'll never use, and it's just thrown away. Mm-hmm. But on the taxes and the local taxes, I mean, this is the stuff that pays for your 911 services, your firemen, your emergency medical system. And although the bill that went through said, well, you're not going to touch those things, you know, get real. You know, that's
I have a friend that works for the city, and he said that if this goes through, they're cutting like at least a quarter of the budget, and they're going to lose. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
Well, it could go that direction, but also keep in mind you're only cutting taxes for the homesteaded properties, and of course, you know, the biggest unionized group in the state of Florida is the school system, so they got an exemption. Mm-hmm. But you know what happens is that okay, so homesteaded properties are going to get the exemption, but you know they can still call 911 and get services. So who's going to pick up the tab? It's going to be the commercial industry, and it's going to be people that are renting homes or renting apartments. We've got a big affordable housing issue here in Florida. Well, guess what? Your rent's just going to go up because if they got to make that up, it's going to go to everybody else that's not homesteaded. Additionally, you're going to probably see more fees. You've got constitutional offices that don't have the power to tax like that. So, I mean, your Department of Motor Vehicles, which is your tax collector, that's going to go up. Your elections are going to be more expensive. Your clerk of court, you know, going through any kind of a court system is going to be more expensive. And your supervisor of elections, or not your supervisor of elections, but your tax or property appraiser. These are all offices that they got to find money, and this is who you're cutting. So you're cutting local services, but the real problem here is representation. And this is something where I come into my political conspiracy. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys live in a city. I live in a city that's, you know, small, it's fairly small, 20,000 people, but I got 5 council members. You know, I mean, that's one council member for 4,000 people, which is actually really good odds. You go up the ladder a little bit to a county commissioner, maybe now you're one commissioner for 25, 50,000 people. You go up to a representative, one person for every 250, maybe 500,000. You go up to the state, you got 21 million people in Florida. Your representation just, you know, fell considerably. Mm-hmm. So what happens is that now, you know, we've got the people at the state that's, you know, pulling the pin on the grenade and then throwing it down at the local level and say, looking at us, we cut taxes, but, you know, we increased our budget.
Right.
So what happens is that the little guy loses their representation. You know, local governments are, we're going to cut all our services, and then the state government's going to come over and take us over. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, if you have an issue with the police department in a city, you're one of 4,000. And guess what? One of 4,000, you can affect an election. You can actually do something. But I'm telling you what, if FDLE is involved, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, I mean, do you think you're going to affect a governor's race? You could have 10 million people at least. That's not going to happen. So this is where my political theory kicks in, is that the politics of the nation really do try to move decision-making up the chain. Special interests get the power. The voice of the little guy is muted and continually gets muted. And that's really just because, the smaller guy just doesn't pay attention. And I kind of see this tax issue as, a similarity of that situation. Let's pull the plug on small government and let's let the big government, who controlled by special interest, have all the power. And that's a scary thing to see.
It is. And they make it sound so good that the most people fall for it. Like how we ended up mass voting for making living off the grid illegal in Florida.
Oh,
by the way that we voted for, like people could feasibly live with just solar power, except they made it so you're not allowed to live with just solar power anymore here. So
that's true. It's in the building codes. You have to have a power connection.
Yeah, and you get it cut off. So you could be in a storm, lose your power for 8 days, and they're cutting your solar power as well. They make sure that you can't live off the grid in this state. It is illegal. And you all voted for it because they worded that bill with so much fuckery that people could not understand it. And they do this all the time. And it's amazing to me. It really seems like big government is in a race on either side for socialism. It's just a matter of which side is going to control the socialism. And that's what it really comes down to, I think. It's like, we want socialism. Oh, no, you're bad because you want socialism. But we want socialism. Oh, no, you're bad because you want socialism. So who's going to control the socialism? And it seems like we're just all rushing. They're rushing towards that, where they're taking more and more and more away from the people. And that includes opportunity to go stand and fight our local government for our own rights and stand up and have town hall meetings and all these things that matter to us. And one of the things that they proposed here in Florida is if they take away the property taxes, they want to implement a 12% sales tax across the board, which is, that sounds like, oh yeah, all right, well, go buy a fucking car, 12% sales tax. Go redo your refrigerator or your kitchen and buy all your appliances at
not
12%,
happening
at 12% sales tax and see how that goes for you. So,
well, this is hilarious because I went and says, you know how many people work for local municipalities? All we've got to do is just get together, sign a petition to limit our sales tax maybe to 4% as a constitutional amendment, and watch the state government squeal. You can play that game.
That's what I'm saying. I think I love the idea. I love the idea of reducing property tax. I love it.
Of course.
But I think it should be limited to two groups. If you're over 65.
Right.
And if you own your house outright and it is your main property in Florida that you live in. So if you have paid your property off and this is where you live and this is your homestead of property, fine. And everybody else, you still pay your property taxes.
Right.
The elderly should not be penalized. And
as long as they're making under a certain amount, they should apply to have that taken out,
True. And something I remember sitting down and last year, April, I remember when you got your tax bill and I sat down and
voluntary. I'm sorry.
I know, right? What I was looking at is because she lives in a city municipality, I wanted to see like the breakdown of stuff because my math brain wanted to understand some things of if they were to take away property tax, what would they do? And so I took 2 years of her stuff and I sat down and looked at all the different little...
As it keeps going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what they were doing is they were preemptive to if they take away property taxes, how are we going to make our money? So that's what I was looking at. I was like, okay, so as a city, they have to, keep people's jobs and get their money somehow. So I was looking at, they were already ahead of the game by finding little words and different add-on fees. and of already, so they were already knowing that this was going to go down, and if this passes, this is going to go down. So we're going to go ahead and add this and add this and add this in for the upcoming 2026. So we're going to make you pay this, and this. And if you don't show up for the commission and argue this, then we're just going to pass it, and it's going to happen, and you're going to pay this next year. So, and of course, when they make those dates to go and argue, and I told her, I said, you need to go and make sure you go argue this. Because if not, it's going to get passed. And if the property taxes don't change, it's going to be on top of the property taxes. So, and of course it got passed because her and like most people, right. And she didn't go. But a lot of people work when all this goes on, and they do these hearings during
the day,
during the day, and they don't actually put it out there. If you don't catch that little, and at this particular time, during a Monday when everybody's at work or their kids or whatever the situation is. So 5 people might show up. You think they're going to fucking pay attention to 5 people that show up that bitch about the tax shit going on?
You got to write letters, write letters to the editor. I mean, politicians hate it when the letter to the editor gets published and it badmouths those guys. You got to learn the tricks of the trade.
Okay. I know, and that's the thing is there's not enough of that out there, and not enough people are doing that to really. They think like my grandfather used to say, the pen. There's power in the pen. The
pen is mightier than the sword.
Yes, there's that too. So, there is, but people have to show up and bitch because they didn't. People like in those small little towns where April is already got ahead of the game, and now there's extra tax on there before the property taxes were already voted on.
Well, if you pull the plug on the property tax, you're going to see the fees. You're going to see the extra stuff. Right. Remember, local government still has the power to impose fees and fines. And I mean, you pull local taxes, they're just going to, I hate to say it, but the best term that I've ever heard about this kind of stuff was Theodore Roosevelt. He said it's like nailing jelly to the wall. It's not going to happen. I mean, they're going to find a way around it, and you just can't stop it. I know in our town they did the stormwater utility fee, and it's like I kind of fought it, but now I'm starting to thinking about it, and it's like it's probably more fair than a straight flat tax.
Right,
and maybe that would probably move more towards that direction because you're basically taxed on how much surface area you have on your property. So people with big parking lots pay more, and it also taxes churches, which also have an impact on your roads and things like that, but normally would never pay taxes. So it's actually a little more fair.
So there's a couple comments here that are worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely.
Winona says, I don't know about other states, but in Kentucky, if you're disabled, you don't pay taxes either. And I know that's the same in Florida. I believe it's the same in a lot of states, or you get some kind of reduction. How disabled is defined is very loose. So, so in Florida, I think you have to be basically.
No, I do. I'm handicapped. Yes.
Yeah,
I do work though, so that's not really fair.
Yeah, if you're working, but you have a disability, you know what I mean. So, I don't know if you qualify.
The problem with an exemption is that it's kind of like opening up the door just a little bit, and over time it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it does get taken advantage of. But most things start out as a really great idea in the beginning, but then they turn rather ugly.
Like religion. Oh, sorry, did I say that?
Organized religion. Oh, that's like, hey, I want to talk about that.
Chip says that's the thing. If you write something that local news picks up, that will get politicians' attention. So
politicians are very astute as to what's going on. They know the direction of which way the wind is blowing. And people have a lot more power than what they think. I have seen just a handful of people really just control local politics just because they get out there and they use their voice. Social media, newspapers, they show up at meetings. It does work.
I love the social media one. I get on there and do that. That's for sure in my area.
So, what about petitions?
I do.
Signing petitions and things like that.
I'm an asshole for that.
Have fun with politicians. That's what they're there for. They put themselves up to it. I mean, it took me several years to get all the knives out of my back and It was a crazy process.
Mhm.
You're a good guy. I can't imagine you having that many knives.
Oh no.
Oh.
Arrows in the chest, knives in the back. I'm just telling
yeah.
you. It's the other way around. Knives in the chest, arrows in the back.
If you put yourself in front of people to any, I can't even imagine. Like,
Yeah, no, I can't.
I take arrows
Good for you.
I get knives in the back and arrows in the chest nonstop just because I'm in front of people. I can't even imagine doing it.
Because
Well,
you're
it's not that. It's really not that bad. I mean, the family takes it a lot more personal. My wife really hates it when somebody writes a bad article, but I turn around and I say, well, look, it cost $5,000 to put an ad in this paper, and they wrote a whole bad thing about me. I'm worth $5,000.
Hey, there you go.
And all of a sudden, they're wasting their paper and their space on me. So that's showing
you
me
got
value.
free advertising.
Yeah, but she takes it rather negatively.
Right.
But she doesn't say no to the parties either. So I mean, there's an upside to it as well. I can tell you that.
When I said again, isn't that the government's job to regulate all of that and make sure the programs aren't taken advantage of? And I think that's a lot of the problem. Like like for example, when I was traveling, I was using healthcare in a lot of other countries, and I noticed like Japan seemed to have one of the best healthcare systems in the world that I used when I tried Germany and England, Jamaica, Canada, obviously here. Japan was way up there, and you still paid for it, but the fee was so minimal, and it was because their government regulated. They did not run. Whereas the mess that was the NHS, their government ran it instead of regulating it. And where we are right now is our government does, unfortunately, both. They run it, they regulate it, they own it, and then they own all the media and sponsor all the programs, and it's all completely propagandized. So shouldn't governments regulate instead of run? That's sort of where we get it wrong, I think, right?
It's an interesting thing because, I don't know how best to say this, but because a lot of times rules don't matter. The system doesn't matter. What really matters is the quality of the individuals that are running the system. It's kind of a funny thing. Everybody says socialized medicine is a bad thing, but all of a sudden you look at Sweden and you're like, hey, they can make it work. The Norwegian countries can make it work. I think it's probably more that you have decent people running the system rather than focus on the rules. I almost hate to say that, but there's a lot of truth to that. I think the problem is a lot of good people don't get involved anymore. It gets so messy. Right. It gets so
because
dirty.
Of the knives in the back and the arrows in the chest.
Exactly. Nobody wants to get into a mud fight. You will get dirty. I mean, you just can't avoid it. And I think when you're looking at government regulating things, there was a time when I think the regulation was probably a good thing. Nowadays, government regulates it, but it's who puts the money out to get the politicians into office that really pull the strings. And you guys know how that turned out.
Right.
It's now we're living in a time where, maybe competition is a good thing. I mean, people can make arguments that competition's a bad thing, but hey, I would love, we have it. We can do medical tourism. If I'm going to get my teeth fixed, I'm going to probably go outside of the United States to get it done.
Yeah. You got to go to like Laos.
I don't know. I haven't researched that one.
You know what I mean? You gotta go to Vietnam or something. You can't get it done here. It'll cost you $50,000, and that's with insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's we don't truly. A lot of people. I love seeing, and this is sarcasm. I love seeing when people are like, "Oh, capitalism is terrible. Capitalism sucks." Capitalism would actually solve where we are right now. We don't have capitalism. We have corporatism. That's why you have one choice of everything. We have nothing but monopolies. You have one power. So you go to wherever you move. Here is your power source. Whatever they want to charge you, that is what you're going to pay. Yeah. If we had capitalism and you had 4 different companies to supply you electric and none of them work together, that would solve that price bullshit what's happening. So if we actually had real competition, real capitalism, it would work for the people better than this corporatism, which is literally a form of fascism. Literally a form of fascism that's going on.
Well, what you're describing, what you want free market capitalism, but what you're describing is pure capitalism.
Yes,
capitalism
capitalism
drives everything to monopolies. Free market capitalism makes it so that the choice of the decision is half consumer, half provider. And that's where you want to be. You want to be able to have the power to say no, but the corporations don't want you to have that power. The corporations want you to have to take what they give you.
We're in a position now where corporations are deciding they're not even going to take cash, even though it's legal tender. They're just not going to take cash.
That's a pure capitalist point of view. They have the capital, they have the power to do that. Free market capitalism says they've only got half the power, and you can go somewhere else.
Right.
And that's what we need.
It is. That's why I said free market capitalism would solve this. So did you see the ironic? I love this. Ryanair, like the shittiest airline in the entire world. It's the airline that Frontier was, tried to be like. Ryanair started with the $35 fees or whatever, and then they charge you to breathe. They charge you to use the bathroom. They charge you to sit down. They charge you if you stand up. They charge you to push the button. They charge you. Shit on a plane. Like, did you fart? That'll be $12.50, please. So, pretty sure I heard you fart. So I mean, they charge you for everything. So Ryanair apparently, I'm going to get this. I might not get the story verbatim, but apparently there was a woman who was 13 hours late. And they kept her on the plane, I guess 13 hours, or delayed her flight that long. And they were supposed to compensate her, and they just blew her off, just completely blew her off. Well, she sued and she won, and they kept refusing to take care of it. So they ended up having, I guess, a collection officer walk on the plane and confiscate the fucking plane. So they confiscated the plane. And then the manager of Ryanair, which they had gone cashless a long time ago. They were one of the first ones to push the cashless everything. So the manager goes down to the bondsman and it's like, what do I have to do to take care of this? And they're like, well, you got to take care of all of this. There's basically a lien against all of this. And now you have to cover the fact that we had to take your plane. And he's like, okay, here's my credit card. And they're like, we only take cash.
Yeah, you're going to have that amount of cash on you, right?
Right. And I was like, yeah. It's like, it was just one of those things, like the people won. So,
and it was over $1,100.
Yeah, they refused over $1,100. Yeah.
Dollars.
So this is where you have to. I hate to say it, and this is where we dealt with it with the COVID mishaps, with getting fired, with getting forced to mandated shots, with all of that fuckery. You have to sue. The only way you'll get anywhere in this country, or really any country at this point now, is you have to hit them in the balls where their wallet is, and that's it. You got to sue them.
I prefer to run for office and get them that way, but
you can or that. Yep.
I actually encourage everybody to at least run for office at least once, so you can enjoy the fun.
The Chip goes, that's the best feel-good story of the year so far.
It is.
Yes. It is. Oh, we got another one for you at the end of the show. Hang on. This one's good. So,
but I do have a question before we get off subject on the property taxes, Jay.
Okay.
I read in your thing, that it died in the Senate, but there might be a special session. When would that session be, and what should we look out for?
I don't think that's going to happen. I know it was floated around there, but I think it's kind of a funny thing. I mean, this is so typical of politics. You have the representative side, which kowtows to the parties and to the governor. So this whole thing was really Ron DeSantis's idea, and I love Ron DeSantis. I campaigned for him. I pushed him. He's actually a good guy. He actually makes his own decisions, and he ticks off a lot of special interest groups, which is why I like the guy. But sometimes he has these ideas that it's like, well, I don't know if I quite agree with that, and this is one of them. But this came up through the House because, what happens is that when you're a representative, where's your next step? Your next step is Senate. And so they kind of suck up to the bigwigs in order to keep that going. Monique Miller was the one that finally did the bill. I actually know her. She's just to the district to the north of us. A freshman representative that got it through on the first try, which that never happens ever. But the Senate did turn it down. And remember, the Senate doesn't have anywhere to go. Once you're termed out from the Senate, that's it. You're done. So the governor doesn't have as much leverage in the Senate. the fact that it died in the Senate and you're this late in the game, you're probably not going to have a special session.
Okay.
So I think right now this thing is dead on arrival. This is the last session that DeSantis is going to preside over. The next one will be probably a different governor, which I think is probably going to be Donald's. Byron's kind of an interesting guy. Actually, I think he's over in your area over there. And if you ever, a lot of these guys, they have campaign stops and stuff like that. I would highly convince you to go over and talk to the guy. You might be really surprised. He's a really likable guy to talk to. You might not agree with his politics, but on a personal level, he's actually kind of a neat guy to talk to.
Okay.
And he just likes to come out and just put it like it is. I can just tell you that. But I think the property tax thing is dead. I know all of the candidates that are running for governor on the Republican side, they're kind of lukewarm to this idea. So I think this thing is put on the back burner for quite a while right now.
Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. April, anything more on that? Because there was one other topic he had too, to go over.
No, just thank you for filling us in on that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you ever want my 2-cent opinion on the politics, and it's probably worth that, I'll definitely be available for it. So
go ahead, April. Yeah, you look like you had something there. If not,
no. What else are we talking about? What other questions we have?
Well, he brought up a talking point there for the thought and independent thinking. Do you want to elaborate on that, Jay? Or
it's funny you said that, because right before you brought me on, you had that clip of the guy that was doing all of the the laissez-faire capitalism. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But you had the clip of the guy there showing all the news, our news sources that were saying the same thing. Those are talking points, okay? Which is, I hate to say it, that's why I do my homework and then I send it to you guys so that you kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from. And, I do a lot of interviews when I'm in politics, and one of the things I hate is dead airspace. And, this time with you guys, I'm actually trying hard to pause so that at least we can have a conversation. Last time, I think I just ran away with the whole thing, and I can, you give me coffee, I can do that. But in any case,
it's legal cocaine. It's okay.
The legal cocaine. But in any case, group thinking, that is, it's just a detriment, because, the great thing about America is that we have independent thinkers. And I'm telling you what, you as an individual will be successful if you magnify your own individual strength, your own individual goals and objectives, and follow that. Group thought just means we're going to get pushed into, the popular one is Democrat, Republican, left or right. I really don't like people who just, they take the talking points of the left or talking points of the right, and they just define themselves that way. That's just a way for a lot of these special interest groups to cheaply advertise to you, because
and people have gotten so tribal too.
Oh, absolutely. I find that's crazy that people will attack the individual, that's ahead, but they don't have a clue what the issue really is. It's just,
nor have they dug deep to try and research anything past the surface, headline or whatever too. So.
Well, which I think that's how a lot of crazy things get passed, is that people, they focus on the individuals, and they don't realize that the issues come and gone. And all of a sudden they look at their utility bill and I'm like, oh, guess what? It's doubled. Surprise. By the way, I don't know if you've ever been to a public service commission meeting to talk about those. I mean, I know you had mentioned that on one of your posts one time. I don't know if I posted the link to it, but you guys did have an opportunity to go to the Public Service Commission and talk about TECO's increased bill. And maybe that's
sent it to April.
Yeah.
And of course, maybe that's a group thought thing. Get focused on the individuals, but never get involved in the actual minutia of what makes things work.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't go. Either I wasn't here or there was something going on. I had written it down. I should have gone.
nobody has the time of the day to do all of this stuff.
It was in the middle of the day. I remember that too. Yeah.
I think they do that on purpose, to tell you the truth.
I am sure they do.
When I was on council, we actually had one meeting in the day, one meeting in the evening. So at least people, when they got off work, they could come and they could at least speak. But I hate to say it, we'd run long meetings. They'd go run past midnight. Of course, the problem with that is it's a different day. And did you notice for that? But I wish politicians would placate more to getting people involved in a decision so that
they don't want that.
Well,
if people get involved, yeah, I know, but I just feel like they're catering to their sponsors, the money.
Well, you have to. I mean, I hate to say it, money wins elections.
Right, of course.
And most politicians, they really don't care about the issues or the people. They just, hey, let's, we got a party. It's a great pension to get the next step up, the next position, and they're just there to climb the ladder, which is very sad. And I could tell you stories, but it's like, I'm sorry. It's like sometimes the inside baseball, it's like, it's pretty bloody, but it's like, I really shouldn't go out there. But, everybody thinks that their own team is, or brand of politics is the best. And I can tell you, no, if you belong to a party and it's got politicians in it, it's probably got a dark side to it.
Oh, real quick, I wanted to see if I could get I'm going to read something to you or skim it and see what your opinion is on this. This is about the FISA and the SAVE Act. Oh, are you familiar with what's going on there?
Yeah. I was actually watching it. I'm a nerdy politician. I was actually watching it live while you were right before it came on. Okay.
So FISA and SAVE Act, in case people don't know, I'm just reading off of the Save the Internet thing. It's about it's bypassing the Fourth Amendment, stacking bills, and what people should know. Since Congress is about to stage one of its annual spectacles, reauthorizing Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which that's where FISA comes from, FISA. Now, normally, this is an already messy affair, but President Trump has decided to spice things up by suggesting that Republicans attach the Save America Act to the must-pass FISA bill, stacking them, right? So the SAVE Act is requiring, go ahead, that's proof of citizenship, right?
Well, yeah.
In order to vote.
Right.
So, and the result is a headache for House Speaker Mike Johnson, is what it says. Maybe you put them both together because a lot of people feel very strongly about FISA. Trump told the House Republicans at the retreat last week. That might be the understatement of the year. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, was created to let the U.S. government collect intelligence on foreigners. In theory, it targets only non-U.S. citizens abroad. In reality, it has become a tool for sweeping up Americans' communications on a massive scale.
Yeah.
And we just talked about that with what's going on with Meta, too. Section 702, the part now up for reauthorization, allows intelligence agencies to grab emails, texts, and calls from foreign targets, and in doing so, they routinely capture the American side of these conversations. This incidental collection has become anything but incidental. The FBI treats Section 702 data as domestic treasure trove, conducting millions of warrantless searches on Americans' communications every year. It effectively bypasses the Fourth Amendment, giving federal agencies legal cover to monitor Americans without warrants, often funneling the information into ordinary criminal investigations. FISA's original promise of balancing security and privacy has been eroded by decades of routine overreach. GOP leadership has been planning a clean extension, but Trump's intervention opens up the door for a faction of conservatives led by, Anna Paulina Luna to insist on a legislative package deal. So it goes on and on and on. And they want to try and pass, they talk about the SAFE Act instead, sponsored by Senators Mike Lee and Dick Durbin. It offers a mix of modest reforms and symbolic gestures. And among the wins, the FBI would need a warrant before reading the content of Americans' communications collected incidentally. So data broker loopholes are partially closed, reducing the market for personal location and communications data, however you say it. What is your opinion on that? So it says, here's where the circus comes in. The Senate is expected to debate the SAVE Act this week, but with Democrats opposed and key Republicans unconvinced, it's expected to fail.
Well,
this is more in the surveillance, more surveillance, right?
You know, it's kind of a funny thing. You know, when I was on council, there was the golden rule: you got to count to 3, so you got to have a majority. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when the SAVE Act came through, there was a couple of holdouts, and they couldn't get the votes. Mm-hmm. So really, what you do is, you know, they call this a great sausage making process because, you know, you really don't want to know what's in there. But what happens is that the best place to be when you are in Congress or in the Senate is you want to be that holdout that is going to be the last couple of votes to make something pass, because then you have the leverage to make something happen. And more than likely what happened was that you had some special interest groups, maybe some AI data centers that wanted the FISA thing to go through because they get access to it. Maybe they, you know, the holdouts said, hey, you know, kind of stroke my back and we'll throw this thing in there and we'll pass the SAVE Act. You know, what's really going on is that you've got special interest groups that want FISA to go through, and they're saying, okay, how bad do you want the SAVE Act? And so it's, you know, it really is it's their power plays. And unfortunately, you know, FISA was probably a losing bill that was coming through. And so what they thought they could do is they'll attach it to a winner, pick up a few votes, and let it go. So I think this is leverage. I think it's a power play, and unfortunately, it'll probably work. Okay. That's the unfortunate thing about it is that nothing good passes the House and Senate without a pig being attached. That's the way it works.
So I heard piggyback laws, right? The pork.
Well, pork, right?
Yeah. That's Chip says this sounds like a joke, but I do wonder how much of this push for the revamping, I can say this, of FISA has to do with the things like we saw with the accusations about Tucker Carlson interacting with foreign entities.
That's an interesting question because there's a really fuzzy line there. I mean, I kind of like Tucker Carlson. At least he's got the guts to actually confront an issue. I might not always agree with them, but
yeah,
you know, as a reporter, where do you get your information?
Yeah, I mean, I know honestly, I get a lot of my information overseas by talking to people. So
sometimes, if you want an honest opinion of what's going on in the United States, you got to go to other countries and look back. Different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So
I found out something interesting the other day. I jumped on a live space on X Sunday night for a couple minutes that one of my cousins gets on, and I popped on at the wrong time, and somebody overseas was beating her up. She's Jewish, so somebody overseas was beating her up, saying, "You're not a real Jew because you don't speak Hebrew," and she's over in America here. Yeah. And not Yiddish, just actual Hebrew. And she was like, well, I just grew up in America. I didn't really learn it, you know, anyway.
Or need it.
Right. So somebody, you know, she tells people I'm her sister. Somebody on there says, well, her sister just popped on. That was me. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I can vouch that she's Jewish. Doesn't mean she, you know, we didn't learn this stuff when we were growing up. And the person says, well, what are you? And I said, well, I'm half Italian. And they go, well, you're black. And I was like, what?
The Moors.
And they said, well, that's what we call Italians over here. They're black. And I was like, oh, okay. So apparently in some areas overseas, Sicilians are considered black. And I was like, oh, I didn't take it offensive. I was like, I learned something new today. That's so it was listening to overseas people and all this talk. I learned a lot Sunday night, and
everybody has their thing.
Live space. But this was what talking to people overseas. This is the stuff I heard. Turns out the guy's from Saudi. And so I was listening to what he was talking about, his culture and his wife. And this is how they look at Americans.
So Sicilians are black?
To them, we're black. And
wow, I got a good friend of mine.
I've been called olive, I've been called brown, but I've never been called black. So yes, that was a new one. I've been called all kinds of wop and everything else growing up, but not that one.
Well, that's what he calls me.
Yeah. I mean, I've called a lot of things, but not that one. So,
let me. There's a long history of Jews saying that other Jews are not Jewish enough, and everybody gets that. Asians, Italians, Irish.
Yeah.
So when the Jewish refugees came over in 1945, 46, they were called the Grine. I mean the green. They were so green, and they became the poultry farmers in New Jersey. And the Russian Jews that had already been here and who were in New York, they stayed very separate because they did not get along. So they were looked down upon. So it is like, it's a thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, one group of Jews is not Jewish enough for the other group of Jews. So it just is.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah, my wife's family was Jewish. She came over in the first wave. The first wave, came from the Ukraine back like 1911, 1914.
Yes, they were the upper class Jews.
Which was really odd, because if you remember the Fiddler on the Roof story, where they were so racist against a lot of the Jews, well, it was those Jews that actually survived when they got chased off the land, and the people that stayed got starved by Stalin later on with the Ukrainian Holocaust. But it was that group during that time that immigrated to America that my wife's family came through, and then later on in the 40s. But you're right. I mean, they have their own classes, and it's like they have their own sort of separate divisions, and wow.
Okay.
And you'd be hard pressed to find that about the Ukraine too. A lot of people don't talk about it. It's not written about. It was a full year of starvation because they wanted that land.
Oh, it was several years. Yeah, they basically that was because of failed socialism. And in Russia, you have to take care of St. Petersburg and Moscow. Those are the two main countries, and if you can't feed them, you got to take it from somebody else. It doesn't matter, and that was the Ukraine.
Yeah, my ex-husband was Ukrainian, and his parents talked about everything that happened over there.
Terrible.
So yeah, so it's interesting when people hear talk about socialism and communism who have never left the United States. They've never experienced it. They don't know. You
got to experience it. It is a different. You got to travel the world, because
go to Cuba.
The world is a different place.
You have to. Yeah, I really encourage. I think it should be mandatory.
Yes.
For every American to do service in Cuba and not take a cruise there. You need to fly there, get your ass off the plane, and spend several weeks down there with the Cubans on a help the people visa, and travel the island and work with the people and deal with communism.
We may be able to do that soon.
Well, I think anytime you're in a foreign country, I mean, seriously, just get out of the tourist area and just walk to where normal people are, and you get a feel for what it's like.
Yeah. You jump on a boat and you go to Old Havana and you look around, you're like, oh, it's nice. Take some pictures, get back on the ship. That's it.
But, I remember in foreign countries, it's like, when they buy their food, they're only buying food for the next day or two. And every day they go to a market. They always, it's in America. It's like, we'll buy food. And it's like, gosh, we got it for months and months.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, I'm opening up the freezer and I'm like, oh, I bought this last year and I still haven't had it.
That happens to me.
I feel good.
Yeah. But what's weird is the produce here sucks. I remember I had the most amazing fruit. Just walking around France. Like I still remember. These people are going to laugh because peach means something different now. But I had the juiciest freaking peach over there, and it was so good. It was like eating candy. You just pick it up from the stall, you buy it, you bite into it. It was amazing. And to this day, I am forever looking for that peach again. And we don't have it like that here in the United States. We just don't. Even if you grow it yourself, I'm through Georgia all the time. Even Georgia does not grow a peach like that.
Sorry. Every time we've all traveled, yes, April's running through stores. I want to try the peaches here.
I smell it. I know it by the smell now. I just smell it. I'm like, okay, this is
That's not it.
That's not it.
I could just see that Eva's trying to make time, and April's like, oh, look, another fruit stand.
12 years I've been looking for this peach.
Yeah. We just know. Okay, there she goes.
So, Jay, before you go, we have a little fun story to share real quick. Can we share it while you're still on?
Sure.
Okay, let me see if I can find this. I'll pull it up.
Excuse my birds are getting antsy out there. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'll make it quick because I know we're running like a couple minutes over.
Sorry.
Here we are. Let me pull it up and let me go through the commercials. This is a really cool story about a fundraiser. Let me get through this first commercial.
Yeah.
Explain it.
You blanked out a little bit there, but I know it was Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was a couple, an older couple. The gentleman was, I think he was 78 years old or something. He turned to working for DoorDash because they couldn't afford anything.
Yeah. So let's play that real quick. This is it's really just very heartwarming. So, and I think one of our viewers shared this with us. So on X, right? So thank you when you share these good news stories. We appreciate it.
I loved it.
Yeah. Let me see. There it is. There it is. Let's do this. All right. Play. Can I play from here? Yes. Here we go.
Donations, by the way, are pouring in from around the world now to help a special DoorDash driver in Tennessee. Brittany Smith set up a GoFundMe after spotting an elderly man on her doorbell camera dropping off a Starbucks order. The campaign has gone viral, raising over $500,000 to finally give 78-year-old Richard a chance to rest again. Richard was forced out of retirement over a year ago after his wife unexpectedly lost her job.
Just losing that, we had to supplement it, so I started running for DoorDash, and the people were nice. DoorDash was good to me.
Sometimes you just look at all the things that you need to pay or need to do, and you know that has to come, because if it don't, you're going to end up in the hospital or somewhere with something even more expensive than that.
It's a heartbreaking example, but surely a reality that affects so many elderly people right now. Richard and his wife, Brenda, they've been married for 56 years. They say they're grateful for Smith's kindness and the generosity of strangers that have helped to ease some of their financial burdens. We wish them.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
Sad, but very cool.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you know, I love the fact that they've been married for 56 years and they got $500,000 now.
Yes.
Just because people are nice.
You know, I got to say, we do DoorDash at our stores, and I tell you what, we do a lot of things to try to make sure that our drivers are taken care of, because it's an interesting job. It's hard, but you know, we like to give them a water or a treat or something like that. You know, they kind of deserve it. They go off into all different places to do their deliveries. It's kind of heartwarming to see somebody like that, you know, turn to being a DoorDash driver, you know, because they have to, and then all of a sudden get rewarded in a special way. That's a good story.
I love it. I feel like, you know, it's nice. It's nice when we take care of our elderly.
Yes. Jay, so how do they find you?
Say that again.
How do people find and support you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I'm in Vero Beach, so you know, I'm actually in the process of considering for running for office again. So trust me, when that happens, I will definitely you know, let everybody know. But which is probably by the way why I'm probably being a little bit nice on the political side, because normally when things tick me off, I do have a tendency to get a little bit testy or whatever.
Whatever you say on the internet stays on the internet. So yeah, we are okay.
There's a lot of truth to that. It's always there somewhere.
Yeah, right.
But no, we're going to probably get into a little more of the political stuff here a little bit later on. But no, we're enjoy doing the show with you guys, and anything we can do to support you and make sure that this stays a staple on the internet. That's wonderful. It's a great show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. And we've kept you from celebrating Irish Night long enough. Go out.
Oh, no, it doesn't start until 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, save money. Pass out early. You got to have some Bailey's Irish cream ice cream.
Oh, you know, I've said that too many times. I am really a sucker for that. You know, a good coffee and a white chocolate Bailey's. It's awesome.
Oh, my God. Bailey's makes a coffee, too. So if you add a scoop of the Bailey's coffee to, like, say you're Colombian, it just
it's also good on ice cream too, by the way.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
Try them all. Yeah. You know, my favorite place. Do you guys have a Total Wine over there in Tampa?
We do, yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, go there on a Saturday. Okay. You know, there's no reason to go out. They give you all the samples, and it's like you just get completely bummed by the time you're out of there. And it's like they sell the stuff so cheap. I feel like an alcoholic when I leave.
Guess where we're Ubering.
That's that explains the driver.
Saturday Uber to Total Wine.
Did you guys see that? They just passed the thing to raise the national speed limit 10 miles, so they want to do it from 70 to 80. I'm like, yeah, stay out of the left lane, bitches. So,
yep. You're going to see that red hair
I
fly
agree with
by.
that because you know what happens if they go to 80, they're going to go to 90, and it's like I don't know.
I'm
Just
okay
move
with that
over.
because
I'm okay with that. But
Well,
let me- let
I'm
me-
okay
let
with
me
that if
ex-
it's
let me-
during the summertime, but during season, that's kind of scary.
Well, let me pose this to you, okay? I get it with season, but let me just say one word that makes everything make sense. Autobahn.
Autobahn. Yep.
Autobahn. So people can go whatever speed limit they want on the Autobahn, okay? But you're not allowed to be in the left lane as the passing lane. So if everybody stays the fuck out of the passing lane, it's not your job to regulate someone else's speed. It's your job to stay the fuck out of the passing lane. Okay? Stay out of the passing lane. Do not be so entitled and selfish as to make somebody pass around you on the right where people are coming on and off and there's a big blind side, but blind area. Just stay the fuck out of the passing lane. If somebody's going faster than you, just let them pass. Just like in the Autobahn.
That would be a great public information request
they have
to
no
the Highway Patrol.
They have no accidents on the Autobahn almost. Nothing. They don't have road rage. They don't have.
How many tickets have they issued for riding in the left lane?
Probably none. Never mind.
Where?
They passed that law. I want to know if they're actually enforcing that because I would love to see some of these guys
decided not to enforce it, so they only write warnings. But maybe once they do this, they will.
Well, certain counties are
in
doing
Virginia. Is it? Yeah, Virginia. I think your ticket is $280.
No, some counties here are enforcing it.
Yeah.
I sent you that stuff here. That was Osceola County.
Yeah.
In Florida here, that was enforcing that law, and I think they're giving out fines for $200 some.
They need to start ticketing people. They will make so much money.
That's all right. I got flicked off for it today for cutting a Boston guy, a guy from Boston, Massachusetts, today on the way home.
Yeah, go ahead and kill the property tax. We'll make it up on left lane drivers.
Oh my God, that would be perfect.
Get the fuck out of the left lane.
Cut the property tax. Start pulling over left lane drivers.
There you go.
Okay, here it is. Left lane drivers in Florida is 158 to 179 and 3 points on your license.
Wow.
Thank you.
So it is a federal law.
Tell us how you really feel, Eva.
Sorry.
You have to move over. You cannot stop on the passing lane on any highway with 2 or more lanes. So unless you're making a left lane turn, and you can't do it for 5 goddamn miles when your turn is up there. You can't do that. And if some people travel in the left lane for 5 miles, like my turn's going to be up here in like 20 minutes. No, fuck off. Move over, asshole.
Well, as long as it's 3 lanes or more, that's fine. I mean, traveling up from Florida to Pennsylvania, you go through South Carolina, you hit 2 lanes, and it's probably the most frustrating thing I've
South
been
Carolina
in a long time.
Sucks. They're the worst.
They're trying to expand it, but man, that is painful.
That really is. It really is.
There's people I swear travel in the left lane for fun. At slow speeds.
You do. You slow down. You just got to turn your tunes up, jam, and just say whatever. Just suffer through it. Power through it.
This guy was just today. So these are like 6 lanes, and so this guy's rolling along today on the way to the show, trying to get home. Mm-hmm. And here goes Massachusetts guy in the left lane. And I'm like, really? Okay, we should be.
It's always a snowbird.
Oh, look, a new one. Look, they're going to make it pass only. Sorry, I got really excited. So
that would be great.
Yeah, new Florida bill aims to make left lanes pass only enforcement stricter with fees and all right.
Ticket these motherfuckers. Sign at the Florida border. When you're here visiting, please abide by the rules.
No, wait a second. They do have that in like Tallahassee up north. They do say that it's everywhere. It says slower traffic, keep right. And then when you get to a certain point, they stop having that. And
I'm sorry. You got your driver's license. It was on there.
And like up in the north part of Florida, people obey it. They're good about it.
I know.
And then once you get down to a certain point, like when Ocala and Tampa, they get freaking stupid here. Like they've forgotten how to drive. Like their head goes straight up their asshole, and they can't see anywhere. They're like, I don't know what. So hit like lawmakers.
Well, I did what April does today. I got flicked off.
Hit these left lane motherfuckers where it hurts. Ticket them and point them.
I know the guy stuck his finger out. I cut him off. He flicked me off. Whoop! And I waved. Hi. Have a great day.
Yeah, I got brake checked on somebody who was going 5 miles under the speed limit. They brake checked me. I was like, motherfucker, I'm going to pass around you and then kill you.
The most aggressive thing I ever saw.
I'm going to shoot your tires out.
I saw a left lane driver. She was driving slow, and a guy in a pickup. The rednecks that you guys see driving around, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Which during season I actually appreciate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway, the guy
drove up on the shoulder and shoved her. Right.
The guy goes into the median. Passes are going like 80 miles an hour in this grass. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Pulls in front of her and then slams on the brake and forces her to move over.
Good. There's Florida.
I'm like,
welcome to Florida, bitch.
I would normally, say that guy's kind of out of line, but you know what? We all appreciated it.
Yeah. I feel like that you need to learn somehow, and that person, thank you, person, whoever you are in your redneck pickup
Put
truck.
Put a damn cash app tag on your, on your bumper. I'll send you some money for that one.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Chip goes, I need a live stream of April and Eva driving and just listening to the running commentary. No, you do not. No, you do not. Everything is a C word. Or the MF. You just stupid motherfucker.
See you next Tuesday, right?
Oh,
we'll put a beat and make a rap for left lane drivers.
Yes.
Can you hear my middle finger?
Yep.
Sorry.
I am
anyway.
I love that C word. So
yeah,
it is across all genders. So
yep.
All right, everybody. Jay, thank you.
Absolutely.
For being here. We really appreciate you. So especially because you could be out drinking and partying. Thank you for being here.
That's later. We're ready.
So good. We appreciate you. So everybody, support Jay Kramer if he decides to do the thing.
The thing. Yep.
The thing.
The thing.
Yeah, we appreciate you supporting us too. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. You're awesome.
All right, guys, we'll get out there and enjoy the evening.
We will. And
don't
everybody else,
take an Uber.
I don't even really drink or anything. I don't mind driving. I just hate everybody on the road. So,
sure.
I like driving that. I'm that person that loves driving between 1 and 5 in the morning when nobody's on the road. Just give me a coffee and I will drive, and I will be going 90 miles an hour, happy, listening to some tunes. Like, I drive when nobody else wants to drive. I'm there with the truckers. Just put me in with the truckers.
There you go.
I am happy with them. So they know, at least they did know how to drive till they start putting all the, the ones that, don't actually pass their CDL. So yeah.
They got all that revoked
yesterday. Let it go for another show.
There you go.
Because trust me, the drones are coming on the highway.
Right. I know. So everybody, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And thank you for joining us on our Irish night. We will be back on next Tuesday. So we will see you then. We will be live again in 2 weeks. You really aren't going to want to, don't miss next Tuesday because it's a good show. It's basically what the hell is going on with our, what's happening right now with everything. It's an insider look there. With Tony Arterburn, who is a 3-time veteran of foreign war. So you might want to watch that to get the real deal of what is happening, because he speaks the bullshit that we don't necessarily understand. So
he's also the sponsor,
and he is our sponsor. Yes. So if you can't catch up with me now, you can go to patreon.com April Hunter and catch up with me there. And I love you a lot. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Stay out of trouble or do not get caught, and stay the fuck out of the left lane.